What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? How you feeling? Happy to be back with you today. This afternoon, we got to talk about the FTX approval to dump that over $3 billion worth of crypto. Is that going to put some pressure on the markets? And then we're also going to be looking at a bunch of altcoins showing a lot of developer activity. We're going to identify what they are. Are there some good setups to look for positions to be prepared for the bull market? Everybody throw a 1 in chat if you're feeling good today. Throw a 2 in chat if you're feeling good and you're making other people feel good because you walk in the room and you brighten their day. And if not, sometimes they're not there, and that's okay. But let's try to be that for people. Not that we're required to be the thing that brings people up, but we should know that when we enter spaces, we affect other people. So let's be aware of that. Big love to everybody here. We got the core community here right now. Big love to each one and every one of you. We're going to be going over a lot of TA today. This afternoon stream is primarily TA. We may look at the FTX news story for sure, but we're going to be primarily focused on TA, setups, strategy. So everybody get involved. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell, baby. See, we got Crypto Warlock in the house, says, yo, got Alexander G, Mr. Blake, Justin Eubanks, Theo Rodriguez, Crimson Caravan Company, Bit Voodoo, Alexander G, I believe I said it, but you deserve a double say, Sawtooth Hiker, Crimson's Girlfriend. Got all their usual suspects in the house today. Anybody buying today? Are you selling? Are you just kind of letting the market shake itself out? What are you doing? Brad Guydell, what's up? I see you in here lurking. It's afternoon, and I want everybody to just take a moment, stretch your body a little bit. Think about something you're grateful for today. Think about something that you've had positive impact on somebody today. We need to do a better job, all of us, of figuring out how we can hold ourselves accountable and pay attention to the things that matter throughout the day, and not focus so much on drama in our lives and drama in other people's lives. What am I doing to be kind for others? What am I doing to be kind to myself? Sometimes being kind to yourself is holding yourself accountable for your discipline, whatever that is, whatever goals you're trying to go for. Big love to every one of you. See, Mr. Ray Meeks is in the house. Hey, how you doing, brother? everybody. We got J715, Mr. Blake, Bit Voodoo, Sawtooth Hiker, Alexander G, Theo Rodriguez. Who else we got in here? Crimson Caravan Company, Mr. Ray Meeks himself, Bit Voodoo, Andre Britz, Crypto Warlock. Big love to everybody. We're going to be breaking down the charts today. Get involved. Hit that. Throw a one in chat if you're feeling excited about the markets, regardless of the direction. We're going to be breaking this down. So everybody, let's get our notebooks out. Let's pull our charts up and let's do this together. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the BitLab Academy daily stream. My name's Kelly Kellam. Welcome to the family, because we are a family here. We're positive, encouraging. We provide tools and strategies and skills, and skill sets, mechanisms so that you can engage with these markets. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. If you have not subscribed yet, I don't understand what is wrong, because we have about 55% of the people that are watching on a daily basis are not subscribed. I still don't understand it. I don't even know how you're getting notified. Join us here. We got a good family. Now, we're going to be talking about some things. We had a big sort of news story that popped up, which has already been on the horizon. We've talked about it a bit here already. And that is the fact that, right here, boom, coming right into it. FTX receives approval to liquidate assets, $560 million US dollars worth of Bitcoin, $1.2 billion worth of Solana. And breaking news, we've got an interesting animal just walked in here. You know, I have the centipede sometimes walk across my feet. Well, sometimes.
What's up, everybody? I'm so used to having a show where I have to listen to somebody. It's weird not doing a show with earbuds in my ears. But what's going on to the BitLab Academy? Who's in here?
Got all the usual suspects.
Yeah.
Some people from multiple brands.
Sawtooth Hiker, I see him.
Crimson Caravan.
Crimson Caravan, just saw him on the basement. Good episode in there. Yeah. What's going on today?
So I was just mentioning, right as we were going live, this news here with FTX liquidating assets. Is it something we should be scared about?
No, because the price isn't doing anything right now. I just finished talking about this on the basement. If we were scared of prices, we would see prices doing things really bad right now. And again, so when we were talking about the show, I think Bitcoin was at 26.2. So obviously down to 26. But that news has now been out for how long? That's not like breaking news within the last like 10 minutes. That is breaking news within the last couple of hours. So I am leaning a little bit more bullish on stuff. I think short-term things are a little more bullish right now. Man, it is always fun to come look at some Kelly charts. The chaos is just great. I love it. I remember some of you guys might not know this. I know the origin story of Kelly Kellam.
You want the chaos chart?
I was there for the origin story of Kelly Kellam.
That's the chaos chart.
That'll do it. The spider webs. Yeah. No, yeah. So things are. Did it just bounce back up to 26.1? Yeah. Okay. Kelly, I'm just not that concerned about it right now, because again, this is the type of stuff that when the news breaks, people sell in anticipation. But first of all, with that, they're not going to sell it all at once. They're going to sell it in bundles here and there. And also, I think it's the perfect time that everyone would think that price should crash. Therefore, what wise people do, I know Kelly's big on this. You talk about smart money versus, unfortunately, do you use the term dumb money? Is that a bad term?
Hey, all of us have made dumb decisions.
We have all done dumb things, yes. I throw myself into dumb money category. But, the big money, the smart money, they take advantage of situations like this. Traders who go in and out every single day, they look for opportunities to steal retail investors' money. So the average retail investor is going to try to think logically about this and say, oh, got to short this right now. When in reality, if we were going to see something really bad happen, it would have happened right before the news broke. And then, of course, gotten even worse after the news. And then when they actually start dumping money, that's the perfect time to long. To me, I think, Kelly, this is going to bring us to a situation where it's more like, we're actually going to go long right now. And then when we start seeing those dumps, maybe you'll see little chunks come out here and there. But it's going to be after when most of the damage is done that I think the real negative price action happens. I've been on record. I don't know what you think, Kelly. Like, do you think we're going below 25,000 this year?
I think we still have a pretty strong opportunity for price to get down into 23.7, 23.8.
Yeah.
That's if we drop.
Yeah.
Now this sounds, I know for people that want to know, is it going to go up or is it going to go down? The truth is we never really know. I think there's a case to be made, and I'm going to make both of them today, that price does hold at the low that we just recently had and work its way up from here. However, there's so much pressure on the markets currently that it's going to be, I think there's going to be some liquidity washouts in both directions.
Yeah.
So in that case, I think if we do drop down below 25, it's going to be a quicker move.
Yeah. I think an interesting spot is going to be to watch 27. I think watching what happens with the volume around 27,000, I think there's an outside chance. We'll go to your screen. I think there's an outside chance, Kelly, that we go back up. So go out to, because you're controlling this, go to the daily chart real quick. I know you and I have both looked at this before, these long-term support levels, both from rising perspective, but then also, what's this date right here? This is like July, August, the support level right there around 28.6. It's pretty common when you have a strong support level kind of sticking out to go back and turn it into something that's resistance. I look more at like the wick, a couple of those lower wicks, because you're putting that about 29.1, I think.
I was just pointing for where it
yeah.
went down.
Yeah, so we have not retested that turning into resistance. I think there's an outside chance that we actually rise back up to that level, 28.6, 29,000, somewhere in that range. We touch there, and then we fall back. I think there's still some sort of big catalyst that brings us down. I think it's going to be very interesting. If we break 25,000, watching what happens around 23,000 is going to be interesting. I still think there's a good chance we fill the CME gap down at 19.7. Technically goes like 19.9, but I think those levels 19.7 could be very interesting to see play out. Goes back to kind of the same prices we were at back in March of this year. And I don't think it's going to be a slow thing.
Yeah.
I think we revisit it. I think when you're looking at these levels, like what you're doing here, Kelly, right here around 23, I have it a little bit lower on mine, but let's just call it 23 just for kicks and giggles. Do not be surprised to see candles kind of hover right there. And then one wick just drop down. Let's see. Oh, yeah, you have your marker right here. Do not be surprised to see price kind of come down here, hover right around 23,000, kind of trade sideways. And then one day it's going to wick down here, hit something around this range, wick back up. That's a bad representation because it's going to be the same day. And then it's going to continue to move right here. And then December, January, that's when we start the slow, painful process of moving upwards and sideways into the halving event. After the halving event is when the real bullish momentum starts. But you got to get through. The that little last level of bearishness. I mean, going back to 2019, I'm a big fan of the 4-year cycles. I'm a big fan of similar price actions. If I were to scroll, it's just is not. I got to use the mouse pad on the daily chart. Let's go. Yeah, the daily chart's going to work for me. If you were to go back here, my personal opinion, I don't count the black swan event of COVID. I'm looking though at this dip when we rallied up to 13.5 and then bottomed out back here at 6,500. Yes, we went lower with COVID, but that shouldn't have happened. That comes back to a serious level of former resistance back here. It was also a 50% drop. I think that we're sitting somewhere like right here, right now in the market. I think price rockets back up. Look at kind of what this is. It went a little higher, but look at all of this support right in here.
Yeah, this would have been the 27, 28 region currently.
And it went back up, retested it, and then had a bigger drop back down again. Former resistance. Let's go back over to current price action and look at something. Before the FTX dip, which was the big dip, where was that price action kind of hovering right around? Right there on 20,500, 20,000 level. I think we drop just a little bit below that again, fill the CME gap. I think there's something magnetic pulling us back down to 20,000. I think that BlackRock and other institutions that are now going big on Bitcoin are going to use this as the juiciest opportunity possible to manipulate price back down to get supply, but they're going to bite up very quickly. And I think we're going to see kind of a repeat event happen just like 2019. But again, that comes a little bit of a bounce back first to former support level and then the big drop. That's my opinion. That's what I'm kind of watching for and expecting. But you got to continue to watch the charts every single day. That's what's great about your guys' channel here. Like Kelly, this is something I love about both Kelly and myself and several other people, is we are not so prideful that when we give an opinion or a prediction that we're stuck to it. If we see something change, we change our opinions with it. And that's why you got to continue to watch every single day. You got to keep looking at the charts every single day. You got to keep taking in information as it comes in every single day. But right now, the story that I'm seeing happen, Kelly, everything I'm seeing flow through the news, what I'm seeing happen on the charts, it's kind of telling a decent little story here that a repeat is happening, and the 4-year cycle is still perfectly intact.
Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely agree. And where are we at with the conversation you and DZ have on the debate on the dominance? We can pull that up.
Dominance. Oh, the dominance. You know what's crazy is I don't think the dominance is done, but I think 60% is going to ask for a lot. Where is dominance? But you used this to the fullest.
BTC.
Look at boom. Yeah, this chart up top left. Oh, yeah, there you go, full screen. Yeah, so this is on the daily chart. Yeah, we go. Okay, sweet. I think I'm gonna take this off auto. That way I can mess around with this. I think there's a good chance. Okay, you have this drawn the same way I have it drawn. So that just tells you right there, technical analysis is not that complicated. Yeah, this same resistance level, I have that drawn. This was a falling wedge pattern. We're breaking bullishly out of it, but I think it's going to get even better as we keep moving up. My concern, though, is that it's going to come somewhere more in the region of 57%, not 60%. I'm still holding out hope.
Yeah.
Let me go to the weekly. Yeah, that's what you have a level of. Okay, yeah. So you and I are kind of looking at similar things. There was a good chance it was going to 60, but then even more so, I don't know. You got to continue to watch how these things develop, but there's a little bit of a trend right here that kind of scares me as we kind of push it off to a later date. So as you kind of look over this, I thought we were going to make a push earlier. Is this on log or linear? Let's see. I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it on log. Nope, I'm on the wrong thing. I'm hitting the wrong button. Linear. Let's see what linear is doing. Yeah, let's go ahead and just leave it like that. I think there's a chance when I was saying we were gonna do it before, we were gonna push higher up here towards 60, but as we've kind of delayed and that descending level of resistance keeps falling on us, I just have a feeling that we are gonna get another good push with the dominance, but it's not gonna touch till somewhere over here. I think we wick slightly through here, but yeah, 57, 56%, that range. I haven't turned on the grill yet to cook the steak for DZ. I have a small inkling I'm gonna have to. But it's not over until we see $69,001. So gonna hold on to hope.
Well, 2 considerations here on the dominance. Yes, we have this falling wedge, and I was pointing this out the other day. We have a falling wedge
In a broadening wedge.
In a broadening wedge. So, yeah. But this broadening wedges can go on for indefinitely, essentially. So the question here is, do people want to bet on altcoins right now? And I definitely am taking some calculated risks there. But do we want to bet on altcoins when we do have this huge possibility of not only this rising wedge breaking bullish, but also, I've talked about this a lot in the last couple of days, the fact that we have ETFs on the horizon. Yep. ETFs are going to be onboarding a huge amount of retail and institutional money coming in, and that's going to be disproportionately capital flowing into Bitcoin. So when those faucets do get opened and that the liquidity does stop pouring in, there's a high likelihood we're going to see a sort of disproportionate run with Bitcoin, which would bring that argument of Bitcoin reaching dominance that people aren't expecting. I mean, and Ben Cowan thinks it's going to get up to 70. I don't think that's going to happen.
I only Ben Cowan and I have been on similar sides. We're a little bit different on the numbers. There's 2 things left that will pump there's 2 things left that will pump the dominance for Bitcoin. One of them is price continuing to go down. So, when I'm talking about Bitcoin going potentially sub 20,000, maybe going to that 19.7, there's also some Fibonacci levels in there about 19.7 that are interesting. I'm also looking at Ethereum dropping to like 1,300, maybe even lower, maybe even pushing closer towards 1,100. I'm talking about Cardano probably getting closer towards 18 cents. You're going to see altcoins bleed at the same or worse levels than Bitcoin. That's going to be the first thing I think you see a pump. And then historically, guess when bull markets happen, there's at least a 2-month span where Bitcoin gets all of the momentum, all of the pump, while altcoins delay. And then 2 months after the bull market starts for Bitcoin, that's when alts start their process. Why is that? So you always got to think about why. The reason why is because Bitcoin is daddy. Bitcoin is king. It's going to get all the money first. But then as people start to slowly take some profits because of those higher numbers, they're going to move those over into altcoins. I think the same thing with ETFs. ETFs, of course, will bring a lot of money into Bitcoin. And of course, we're now starting to see some begin to be filed for Ethereum. So we'll see Ethereum get a nice little boost. But we will see levels where we start to take profits from our big Bitcoin and Ethereum bags. We'll move those into altcoins, and that will start the official altcoin bull market. So the question becomes, in that time period between the big fall and between that initial burst that Bitcoin will get, how high can dominance get And again, is it possible for 60? I mean, is it possible for 70? It absolutely is. Like when we also talk about all the money that'll come from institutions, there's a chance that a large portion of it still goes into Bitcoin. Like right now, I have, for example, the top of the bull market, Kelly, I have Bitcoin keeping its dominance. It's going to be dropping down to about 33, 35%. If we get to where I think we're going to go with complete market cap, we're talking about $8 to $11 trillion. I lean towards $11 trillion. 33%, that's what gives Bitcoin the price of being somewhere in the range of $150,000. But I've heard some people expect more. I've heard some people calling for maybe as much as 20 to maybe even pushing towards 30 trillion. And then on top of it, I've heard some people saying because of the ETFs that maybe Bitcoin stays around the 50% mark. So that completely changes the game. If we have 11 to 15 trillion dollars in Bitcoin, holy cow, yeah, that's going to be a big thing. But I'm not betting on that. I'm betting on the way the markets will move. People will still respond to prices. Just think about this logically, even you guys out there. You tell me right now, you have an average purchase price of Bitcoin, let's call it $45,000 because you were somebody who bought a lot towards the top, but then you've been able to gather some more down here below. You're telling me when it gets to $100,000, you're not looking to maybe take some profit on that and move it into some altcoins that still have barely started moving? I know that's what I'm going to do, and I'm assuming that's what a large amount of you guys are going to do. And you're not the only ones. You're going to see institutions do the same thing. You're going to see whales do the same thing. It's just going to be those suckers that are new to the market. And that's the wrong way to put it because I really want to see them succeed. But unfortunately, when you don't want to care about the price of Bitcoin until it hits new all-time highs, your returns are not going to be that great. What you're going to come in do is you're going to fall for the FOMO. You're going to buy those high prices of Bitcoin. You're going to be the one buying 100,000 from the whales, from the smart money. They're going to go take that and put it in altcoins, make the altcoins go boom. And then you're going to say, oh, I'm tired of owning Bitcoin. Let me go buy some of these altcoins. And you'll be buying those tops as well. And then that money will flow back into Bitcoin. It's this entire cycle that I think is going to play out pretty similarly. And it's because the institutions will be a part of it. BlackRock's not going to tell you they're going to get invested in a lot of these altcoins, but I guarantee you when a year later comes and we get to actually see all their books, do not be surprised to see BlackRock spread very well across the altcoin space, but they get to get a little bit of time before they actually have to publicly announce it. That's just how they work. It's how the cookie crumbles. It's that thing, you know, Kelly and I both talk about it, the Wyckoff method. There's lots of different things you can talk about Wyckoff, but the number one thing that Richard Wyckoff taught is you have to treat the entire space like all of the whales and all the institutions think like one person called the composite man. And the composite man will always try to make you FOMO in at tops and FUD out at the bottoms. That is something that was true 100 years ago, and it is true today, and it's going to be true 100 years from now. They know they can do it, and the best thing you and I can do is wise up to their games, become like sucker fish that attach ourselves to the bottom of the whale and ride the whales to the top and ride the whales to the bottom. But every single cycle will come with millions and millions of new people who have no idea what they're doing, and they will fall for the trap every single time. So because of that, as much as it sucks, I'm going to play that game, Kelly. I'm going to play the game of saying, you know what? I'm going to sell it to the suckers. I'm going to buy it from the suckers. I'm going to think the way these whales think, and I'm going to make some money doing it. And then I'm going to be a good person. I'm going to help out those who bought those high levels and teach them how to think about it the next cycle.
Yeah. No, I mean, you know, I think one of the questions I have going into this next cycle is, especially with institutions coming in, capital flow coming in from large money and more wealthy people and super wealthy people, institutions, businesses, corporations, everything. Is that going to change? Do you think that's going to change the dynamic of one of the things that gave us a huge boom in 2016, 2017 was a pervasive ignorance, and all of us have been ignorant, and some of us are still ignorant in certain ways. Mm-hmm. And we have to accept that and figure out where we can dive into education. But the truth is, when somebody jumps into this market, they see the fact that Bitcoin's at 20, you know, let's say it's at $65,000 or $100,000.
Yeah.
A lot of people will still think that's expensive. I'm going to get a $4 Cardano, or I'm going to get a 22-cent Shiba Inu, or something way high on the risk matrix, thinking it's cheap because the price is cheap and not under. Do you think that that's still going to be something that happens, or do you think Bitcoin and Ethereum, because of institutions and the ETFs, is going to? Are we still going to have people buying the sucker coins?
Yes.
Because they don't understand?
Absolutely. And it's because, well, even this concept, this is not new. Like the concept of trading the market cap isn't new to cryptocurrency. There are stocks out there, certain stocks you can buy. You can buy one whole, what is it called? What's the word for it? Share. You can buy one share for $1,000. A different stock, you can buy a share for $2. Doesn't change the ability of that shares to increase compared to the market cap. So when a lot of people coming into crypto who do not understand investing at all, and by the way, that's how a lot of the elite want it to be. If you ever read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, if you talk to or listen to Kiyosaki, Robert Kiyosaki, he talks about this. This is a converted effort from everyone, not only in governments, but elite positions, to continue to keep the average retail investor uneducated about how finance actually works, how money works. And that includes trading. So you're always going to have the people to come in who think, and I remember I had a very close friend in Gainesville about 2 years ago, not 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, because it was right as in early 2021 when things were getting really interesting for altcoins. I was very happy with the decision. He decided he only had $5,000. He decided to buy Ethereum instead of Bitcoin. Well, guess what? January, February of 2021, great decision. Great decision to go Ethereum over Bitcoin. But his reason was, well, Bitcoin's sitting at 30,000 and Ethereum's sitting at 1,000. So if I do the math, I'll make more money when Ethereum gets to 30,000 or gets to 50,000 than when Bitcoin goes from 30,000 to 50,000. And it's one of those things that's like, listen, you can do dumb things in the right moments and make money. But to me, the why and the what you do is more important than being lucky one or two times. And unfortunately, that guy probably got lucky by choosing that, but he's going to choose coins based off, oh, that coin's only a cent per coin. Let me buy that. So when it gets to $60,000 per coin, I'll be a bajillionaire, and it's like, that's not how it works. So, I mean, that's part of what we're doing here. We're sitting here trying to help you guys prepare for that. And then when those people come in, they're going to learn their lessons. They're going to get bumped. They're going to get bruises. They're going to realize that they completely misunderstood how coin market caps work. They completely misunderstood how coins work in general, and they'll need someone to teach them. And that's what we're here for. But it's just one of those things. We're going to have some this year, and then we're going to have some more in 2027, and we're going to have some more in 2031. And we're going to have, it's just every single cycle is going to bring in millions of people who have no idea what they're doing, but they are pissed off with their government. They're pissed off with their current form of money. And put a 1 in chat. Is why did you guys get into crypto in the first place? Was it just because you stumbled on it like you were in a field of roses and daisies? Or is it because you got so fed up with your money going to zero, you were like, I got to find something better? I'm going to venture to say that's a vast majority of you. I don't know many people in crypto that have a different story than that. The problem is you come in, you take your bumps, you take your bruises, you do things like lose $70,000 in one trade, and then you make a whole lot more money because you learn about the whys. Yeah. I told you guys, I was here for the origin story of Kelly. When Kelly was only known as a DJ, like because he still is, he's pretty famous for his DJ work, but nobody knew who he was in the crypto world. I knew him. I knew you from the start, like Jesus. Guys, I gotta go. I gotta get some other stuff done, but it's great to hang out with you guys. Kelly, keep it up. Smash the like for Kelly. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Tim, or as I call him, Timbo Slice. Shout out Tim. Thanks for popping in here. It's nice to get some other people on the channel and get some other thoughts and stuff in here. We're gonna do a bunch of TA, but I just wanted to get. I wanted to ask if he wanted to pop on after he did Blockchain Basement, and he said yeah. So there he was. So all of the above, says Granny's Garden. I hear you. Kelly on the ones and twos. You know what? I've been just a business person my whole life. I started my first company when I was 12 at a website design company called Professional Web Creations. And then when I was DJing, I understood that I didn't want my music to be the only thing. Not only DJed, I toured for 7 years as a singer-songwriter, but I always had online businesses. So I was always really plugged in and building things and creating revenue streams. And then I came across Bitcoin in about 2015, and it took me till about 2016, beginning of 2016 to get involved. And that quickly displaced everything else I was doing. And it's the only thing I was doing after that. And then pandemic happened, and I decided I had another business that basically collapsed during the pandemic because it was tied in with buildings and some contracts that I had that were confined to 3 specific buildings in New York. And I was like, well, I'm a personable guy. I don't mind being on stage. So I've been listening to a lot of different people on air on crypto YouTube, and half the things they were saying was wrong. You could tell that they just read something and were talking about it, so I decided to get involved. That's how I ended up on the Crypto Jeb Show, and then I kind of migrated over here to the Hit Network. So let's go ahead and jump back into it. A couple origin stories there for you. What I wanted to talk about today, we're going to cut some of it out because I want to get to the TA. I want to do at least 30 minutes of TA with you all. But one of the, make sure you follow BitLab Academy. It's right here at Academy BitLab. Make sure you follow me right here at Kelly Kellam, Kelly Kellam. Make sure you're following the correct pages. There's a lot of scammers out there. But we had the inflation data come out today. Here's just a really quick look as to where the 12-month change in price has been. So where inflation is and where deflation is. Just a quick look I just wanted to share. And then this is what is going to kind of inform us. These are the coins we're going to try and do TA on here in a little bit. And this is because these are top 10 crypto assets by development activity. Why do we care about this? Because this shows that the teams, the devs that are building on these chains are building out the fundamentals. They're building out the ecosystem that shows a higher likelihood of success in the long term because they're doing the legwork to build out the use cases within their ecosystem, and thus their ecosystems will also grow hypothetically in the future. So we're going to try and look at all these coins here. The only other thing I want to say about FTX before we go on is that although there is a $13.4 billion sale that was approved of basically them being able to liquidate their assets, it's important to note that according to the plan, FTX will cap its selling at 100 million worth of tokens per week, a limit that could be increased to 200 million on an individual token basis. And this will make sense based on the liquidity and what's happening in each one of those different assets, considering Solana, Aptos, Bitcoin, and Ethereum primarily. Now, I think it's time to jump in, do some TA. It's interesting to hear some of Tim's thoughts about where things are going and where he thinks things are going. I'm not sure I'm of the camp of it dropping down into the 20s, but you know what? It's okay. I don't have to agree with Tim. Tim doesn't have to agree with me. I don't have to agree with Brian Callen or Crypto Banter or Frankie Candles. We all have our own analysis that we do. And it's important to hear other people's analysis because that's how you can say, man, I didn't look at it that way. Let me kind of draw out a path to that level. In terms of my analysis, let's go ahead and jump into this. Where are we at? Oh, that's why. Let me go back to Bitcoin ETH. Go. All right, there we go. So we're getting a little bit of a push up. We're getting a little bit of a push up. This is on the daily. Look at how much green is on the dashboard here on the BitLab Trend Fuel, pushing up where? Right to this level. Now, again, the same levels he was pointing out up here at 28,000. It's the same number I quoted just from my own analysis 2 or 3 days ago, that if we do push up, we got a couple hurdles ahead of that. And that's this previous high here, also where we had stopping volume, a lot of interest in not letting the price go higher, essentially. You can think of it that way. And we also have an order block here, this red bar, and also this red bar here. Order blocks are part of the BitLab volume, where you get the volume profile and also showing you where there's liquidity interest in areas above and below us. In this case, right at this previous high, we have an order block that kind of front runs it here at 27,000, and then a larger order block right here about 27.7. So if the price does break through here, don't just ape in, especially if you're waiting to ape in until right here. Have a strategy in mind, have your stop losses in place, have your targets in place of where you're going to take some profits if you are trading this. But note that this still has yet to really do anything. We do have a wick above this high, which is, there's a little bit of work that's been done there, but these candle bodies have not closed above this zone. So let's get down to a little bit smaller time frame, 4-hour time frame. Let's see what we're looking at. I hope this doesn't turn into an M formation, AKA local double top. It's not confirmed yet, but this is starting to take this shape. If this candle closes here in 30 minutes above this line, and we break above right here, 26,360, which is this high right here, then this is going to show like a little bit more work is being done here. However, we have this giant order block right here. The whole point with this is, just because we break this line does not mean we're going up, up, and away. We did have some news come out, which was potentially bearish. And as Tim was saying, there's a bullish notion that can be taken from this, in that bearish news did not really affect the market. So there are some bulls that are still awake. There are some bears that are not very strong. The question right now is where is the certainty going to lie? And the certainty you're going to find with volume agreement with price action moving up, or volume agreement with price action moving down. Now, in this case, the area I'm really watching right now is right here. If we do start breaking down, is if we come down to this level here, this 25.6, which is it's roughly, and that's a regional zone, because we could actually draw this a little bit lower, even down to this wick. But let's do it from this wick and these candle bodies, about 25.5. Once we start breaking down below this, you've said that the bulls, we're getting weaker and weaker, which also means that the bears very likely are getting stronger and stronger. So if we do pull back, lose this level at 25.8 and come down to this 25.5 zone and lose this, then I have less confidence that this level is going to hold, which is the 24.980, right where the stopping volume was. So if this does come down here to this level and loses 25.5, I think this is not going to be too much work to get through. Next stopping point, 24.475. Ultimately, I'm looking for price to come a little bit of a wick down here to 23.800, 23.700. That's what I'm seeing on Bitcoin. But we got to get to altcoins. We got to do some TA. We got 121 people in the room. I also want to shout out, we did get a super chat earlier. It was while Tim was on, so I didn't call it out. But it's Falco said, when we were talking about dumb money, he said, it's me. I'm the dumb money. You know what, Falco? I appreciate your honesty, because the truth is every single person in this room is dumb money. I'm dumb money. Everybody that's retail, at some point, at least, at minimum, all of us have been dumb money. We've all bought a top. We've all sold a low. We've all gotten shaken out. And if we accept that, then we can ask ourselves, how did that happen? Why did it happen? What are my mechanisms in place so that doesn't happen consistently? That's the goal here. So shout out to Falco. Thank you for the $10 super chat. I appreciate you keeping us alive over here, feeding us, putting food in our mouths. So let's see which ones we're going to be looking at here. We're going to look at Polkadot. It's number one, tied for number one with Kusama. So we're going to look at DOT, Kusama, Cardano, Link, HBAR. Let's look at those first. Let's go look at DOT. Who out there are DOT holders? I know a lot of people have a lot of high hopes for DOT. I'm just hoping that DOT actually, let me actually go out of this window, come down here. I'm just hoping that they actually have some cross-chain integrations and all the things that they're really wanting to do. I really hope that they're able to do that. And because a lot of these altcoins, everybody needs to realize, a lot of these altcoins are still conceptual, meaning, yes, they have some of their chain built out. They have some things in the ecosystem, but their ultimate goals, there's very few chains out there that have their ultimate goals realized. They're still building towards this thing that we're all buying into the hope of. This is one of the reasons why these are a lot higher risk than something like Bitcoin. And Ethereum is less risk than these as well. However, it is still building itself out as well. However, it has a huge community. I mean, about half the coins out there, if not more, are built on the Ethereum blockchain. So in a lot of ways, their I almost said personality, community is developed as such. So what we're seeing here, and this is very concerning, is that it looks like we have a descending triangle here, descending level of resistance, semi-flat, but almost a falling wedge level of support. But no, this looks like a flat level of support. Flat level of support, which we have broken down from, which does not bode well for the bulls, because if we look at this looks like, I mean, we've dropped down here into the order block from over here. You see this, finding support here? And so what I want to do here, we're seeing all this development on these various different coins. Let's not think bearishly about price going down. Let's think there's opportunity that's going to present itself. That's how we need to consider this. If we want to make money, we need to say, okay, here's a structure that shows bearish price action. Let's not be butthurt about that. Let's say opportunity is arriving to get this at a better price, okay? So now as we're looking at this, man, it doesn't look like there's a lot. I'm gonna zoom over here. I'm gonna put a little line here, right at this previous top here. So we've got three sort of zones we're looking at right here. boom, boom. We'll do it at the bottom side of each one of these order blocks, and then this, the high of this previous level. So what does this look like if we come over to this? Now we have an idea of some targets in mind about where price action can go. So now what we want to do, we have targets in mind based on previous price action and previous liquidity, in the order flows, which is where we're getting these order blocks. So let's take a Fibonacci right here, Option F from top to bottom, or Alt F if you're on PC, or you can come over here to the left toolbar, click on Fibonacci retracement, and then click on your chart and draw it. In this case, we're going from bottom to top because we're getting Fibonacci extensions to the downside. We see this move, and it gives us a fib extension about price action and where it can go. So none of these line up perfectly with where these other lines are, but what we do see, the 1.382 is right in the middle of this order block. So we can sort of mark out that zone. And then we have the 1.618 right here. Sorry. This is basically an extended golden pocket. It's a fib extension. Alrighty, and then I'm going to just copy and paste that, make it easy. And then we got the 1.786 down here. So what we can look at now is we have several opportunities in price action below us. And remember, we don't need and we don't want exact levels, because exact levels rarely get hit. And if they do, the liquidity at that exact level that everybody else is seeing is going to be so thin that your order more than likely won't even get filled, especially if it's on something other than Bitcoin, because there's going to be less liquidity. There's going to be less volume traded on that asset, especially depending on what exchange you're on. So we can see that price action, is breaking down a bit. We're below the weekly VWAP, and we're below this sort of trend signal line, as well as this dynamic resistance zone. So what I'm looking at this right now is this a bit of a bear flag or a bear pennant? It's kind of one and the same. So if this is, we could take this measurement just like this, and let's see where this points to. Let's see where this points to and see if there's any confluence. Well, wouldn't you know it? The confluence of the breakout of this bear flag, if this were to be a bear flag and not consolidating sideways, is down here right to the 1.382. This level right here is front running that just slightly. So this is suggesting if price were to continue breaking down, currently we're at $3.992, $3.99, just under $4. This suggests the next target down is more realistically down here about 372, 373 sort of zone. Now the target's all the way here, 370. But what do? We don't take the exact measurements. We don't set orders, buy or sell at the exact target, because there's other people that are seeing this as well, and there's going to be a smaller amount of liquidity there. So this is an opportunity suggesting that price action continue move down. In this case, this consolidated a little bit and then broke down. Are we going to see the same thing? In any case, we're seeing roughly, look at that. We're seeing roughly about the same expansion. So the question here is going to be, are we going to see the same sort of expansion to the downside with bears, or are we going to see an acceleration, meaning this drops much further? In any case, if this does drop here and your order gets filled, it continues dropping, you are already aware of a lower target. So you can split up your buy order between these two zones, about 338 and 372. And here's the consideration here. When we're trying to identify good assets to put in our portfolio going into a bull market, we want these opportunities. We want to see stuff like this where we're seeing a huge amount of development, meaning that these ecosystems are getting stronger. They're getting more use case. They're getting more people involved, getting more different things to do and utilize within their ecosystem. They're building this in the bear market. So then we know fundamentally things are improving for this asset. So when we come over here and look at the technicals, then this tells me fundamentals are improving. I want the best. I want to get into this, but I still want to get the best price. So this falling says, man, you've got an opportunity here before you, if you should so choose to take it. So now coming back over here, what's the next one we got? Now let's actually come back here on DOT really quick. If this does push up, there's a huge consideration directly above us. See this order block right above us? If we're able to push through this, we want to watch this level right here at 423. We get rejected, then this is kind of a little bit more of a confirmation that this is likely going to be coming down. It doesn't have to push up there though. But my point is, don't watch this video and then tomorrow see price here and be like, man, Kelly was wrong. No, a lot of times when you have price action break down like this, you'll have to come up and test it to continue. As it stands right now, this is already a bearish structure that's looking like the probabilities are already in it breaking further down. So now let's go to the next one. What's the next one on the list? Was it Kusama? Kusama. How many people out there hold Kusama? I've been wanting to get some Kusama for about a year. It just wasn't ever in the cards because I had other assets that were higher on my list. And so now we see a lot of development going on this network. Their community is quite strong. We're seeing a very similar setup that we saw on Cardano. I'm looking here on the 12-hour chart. Let's go out to the daily. Okay, we're on price discovery to the downside apparently. Okay. Price discovery to the downside with the caveat of a bit of a trend line there and a bit of is this a falling wedge? It is. Bit of a falling wedge. Man, this is getting sexy. Draw this a little better. There we go. So bounce, 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 and we're kind of losing it to the downside. Question's going to be here. Is there a potential for this to go further down? Let's see if there's any confluence with any levels, bottom to top. Okay, 1.382, that's exactly where we're at right now. We're sitting just above it. In fact, if we draw this all the way across, look at that. We bounced on the 1.382. I did this from the bottom to the top to get the fib extension to the downside. Now, if this does push up anywhere in this region and reject, next logical target, if you're using fibs primarily, and we don't have price action from previous price history, then the 1.618 is the next logical target down here at 1593. Next case is there any confluence at that? Is this some sort of bear pennant, bear flag, similar sort of structure? Let's go ahead and measure this out. Okay, front runs it a little bit. So somewhere here in the 16s, mid 16s, all the way down to 1593. So anywhere in this region could be a good opportunity to kind of layer in some opportunities, some limit orders or stop limit orders. Now, if this does push up into here and we start breaking up to test the top side of this range, I assume based on the way this price action is flowing, that if this were to happen, it'd happen somewhere over here, and that would be roughly about $20. And then, only then can we really talk about price going up. Because even if it hits here, this can still come into the zone, and there's a lot that could happen between now and then. As it stands right now, this is looking rather bearish, and this looks like it may try to explore a little bit more downside, which is why I'm targeting kind of this region here, 1640, 1655 sort of zone. Now, what's next? Cardano. We did Cardano this morning, but we'll do it again. We're going to be moving through these, and then we can do some coins that other coins that you guys want to do. All right, we got our trend line. We got another trend line here, kind of. Now I'm going to delete that. All right. Cardano, we've talked about this a lot in the last couple of days. Potential levels that this could go to. Let's kind of zoom in on this. So I'm not even going to look to the right. I'm just literally looking at where there's price interest, rejection there and there. I'm going to go to this one right here. And so, I mean, that puts us at basically about 17 cents if price were to come down there. So now let's see if there's confluence with any of the fibs. We can do this fib right here, bottom to top. 1.786. That one doesn't really give us anything. Let's do it from this one right here. Option F, bottom to top. So that kind of puts us right there. The 1.382 is right on this 17 cent level, giving this zone a little bit more credence to that makes sense that for price to come down here. It doesn't mean it has to. Remember, we're preparing for ultimate opportunity for the bull market. This very well could hold right here. This very well I could put option J. This very well could hold right here. But the question is this going to be a bit more of a descending triangle like we saw in Bitcoin in 2018, that just consistent, that ultimately finally broke out to the downside and then consolidated and then moved up. Seems fairly logical to me. The question is going to be, will it happen? Because this looks bearish, a bull attempt, kind of a little bit of a weaker bull attempt, even though we're higher. Why do I say weaker? Because look at this measurement of how high this goes. Now, oops, let me make that straight. How high this goes. I'm going to the top of this, to the bottom of this. Let's see if the same size impulse happened. Not even close. So we had a strong bullish expansion, weaker bullish expansion. We're getting, starting to get some lower lows, lower high, bottom fell out. Another weak bullish attempt, only up to the previous low. See that? And then a rejection back down. This is not screaming bull. But then again, I will say with Cardano seems to buck the trend sometimes, especially with how strong their ecosystem is and their community and so on and so forth. However, I call that into question right now because of all the uncertainty surrounding the case with Coinbase and the SEC and them labeling Cardano a security. On the flip side of that, though, if that pressure is immediately alleviated by that case getting thrown out, perhaps, or coming to a settlement and just it going away, or Gary Gensler saying something positive about Cardano, I don't see happening, but something of like a golden goose kind of thing. We got a black swan. Are we going to get some sort of golden goose that actually just releases the Kraken and the bearish pressure on Cardano is, released and comes up and starts working its way up? It could happen, but we don't trade on what could happen. We trade on where the probabilities lie. The probabilities right now suggest there's probably more downside for Cardano. And you know what? I'm happy for it because I don't have enough damn Cardano. So I want the price to go down, and I'm outlining the levels that I'm going to layer in some buys to take advantage of these zones. Furthermore, if we come all the way down here, I don't think we're going to get an 8-cent Cardano, but the 1.786, look at this, perfectly in line with this order block that we have printed here from the BitLab trading stack. Why is that way over there? I don't know. The volume's not showing up, but you see the order block, so that's all we need. There it is. It was just loading. Let's get down to the 2 hour, see what's going on here on the 2 hour, 4 hour. There we go. So we did get a bullish divergence print right here. Bullish divergence on the momentum waves. And although we have the bullish divergence, stochastics are kind of rolling over. And this did not even get up to the previous lows. This is telling me it's trying to test down to 23.5, 23.56, 23.57. And if we lose that, then we look to the next target down, which is right here at 21.95. And then we've got the order blocks in the 20, like basically there's a couple stopping points here, which I'm actually hoping for Cardano not to fall further because I don't like seeing people have issues with their portfolio. And I just want people to be excited again, man. Can't we just all be in profit? Well, I'll tell you right now, as frustrating as this market has been, the things you do now will affect, dramatically affect the type of profits you have in the bull run. So don't trade willy-nilly right now. Set targets. Set targets. Identify opportunity zones. And if they come down and get hit, awesome. If they don't, great. If they don't, that means price action was going up. But make sure that you figure out a way and at the right moment to get exposure to the coins you want to have exposure to in a safe way. Chainlink. We talked about Chainlink and HBAR this morning. I'm just trying to move through these. Let's do VEGA. I don't even know what VEGA is. Anybody in here know what VEGA is? Do you guys have VEGA? What is VEGA? First off, let's VEGA US dollar. And before we do that, because I don't know what it is, we're going to go to coin market cap. We're going to do just some basic fundamentals because I've never, there's so many coins out there. I stay pretty focused in the top 50, Okay, all-time high. What was all-time high? All-time high was 21.6. That's a 21.6x from here because we're at $1, just over $1. Tokenomics, 65 million. So, and does this mean that all of their coins are already out? It shows that their total supply and max supply are the same. So maybe so. Vega protocol website. Let's see. Actually, I want to go to, yeah, let's go website. Is it going to go to the website? There we go. Uncompromisingly decentralized, the most, okay. Oh, so it's a DEX. Okay. So DEXs are going to be a big thing, I think, going into the next 5 years. The question is going to be which one? Don't throw all your eggs in one basket. So it's a DEX, got 65 million tokens. Just want to read, yeah, make sure I read that right. And yeah, quite a small market cap, $67 million market cap. So this could be a good opportunity if they're having that much development and they're listed on, you know, I mean, look how small liquidity there is there though. VEGA, USDT, KuCoin. Okay, got a big pump. And this is settling right here at these lows. See that? Push up. It's trying to find a little bit of a base there. Again, I don't know what this coin is. I'm not, by looking at a coin, just so y'all know, by looking at a coin does not mean I'm saying this is something to buy. But maybe this is something, if the price action does present, to get a very small allocation. This is not financial advice. I'm just saying this is one of those coins that has a huge amount of development or in the bear market. We got golden, almost said the golden goose, golden pocket right here, right where this price action had a little bit of a hurdle. And we also have the order block right here. So I'd be looking to target somewhere down here and likely even come back somewhere towards the lows, splitting it between the golden pocket, the 786, and back here near the lows. Because if the market does turn down, this is going to be, with that small of a market cap, it's going to have a pretty big impact on the price of an asset this small. And this is not looking ultimately very bullish right here. This is, yeah. So I would kind of just hold off on this one. What else they got on here? Let's do Cosmos. Where my Atom holders at? Atom's one of those ones that I sold in August, which I'm okay with because this is what it's done. I sold it. August. Sold it here, August 4th. And this is down 25%. So pretty good call, I'd say. And we're starting to see, look at this. We had that report come out with sentiment with developers, and we got a buy signal right here at the bottom, or a bullish signal, which has to do with what's going on with things within the price action. Certain parameters have to be met. But in addition to the buy signal, we also got a high volume selling into stopping volume. And in addition to the stopping volume, the next candle, we get the basically convergence here, the crossing of the momentum from bearish expansion to bullish contraction. So further supporting this. So we have the 1 signal here where we get the yellow, we get the 2 signal here. So setup, support, confirmation. Now the question is going to be, as this is pushing up, had some resistance on the trend signal line, came back down, came up. We're loading into, are we going to break this weekly VWAP? Are we going to break this trend signal line? Well, we got 6 bullish divergences. There's at 5. 5 bullish divergences on the candle just as it happened. So what does this look like on the 1 hour? So we're seeing some bullishness here, but it's not bullishness that has followed through. Not very much volume. We see here on the bottom right, we see the momentum wave is eclipsing over. We're seeing this rollover right here. This is finding some support right around where the 20 moving average is in the EMA ribbon. And in addition to that, we pushed up right into the lows of this range. So the question is going to be, what's going on here? So let's go into the volume, BitLab volume, go to inputs. We come down here, go to, where's it at? Source, open interest. So there's kind of a mixed story here. Yeah, we're getting a little bit of a mixed story here on the open interest, but it's not, yeah, a little bit of a mixed story here. So So let's come down to volume. Let's go to volume delta, up and down. You can see also, now we can see the profile at all these levels rather than just see the volume profile. All this, by the way, is part of the BitLab trading stack. We can see the volume profile and at each level, what the kind of buying and selling delta is, like how much of this was buying at this level, how much of it was selling. And we can see, obviously, there's going to be a lot of selling on the way down as this comes down, but we do see that it's not just completely dominated by selling. We're seeing pretty close parity here. Pretty close parity here. That's really kind of showing that the bulls are not fully asleep. There's just not a lot of conviction to move up higher. So with that being said, I'm going to double click on this, turn off the volume delta, show volume data. I mean, Cosmos is one of those projects I'm looking very strongly at for the next bull run. Are we going to get a bit? Is this a rising wedge? Oh no. Rising channel, rising wedge. I'd be paying attention to this, but if this were to come back down, you know, 622, 629, I should say, is a level I'd be watching. If we pull back down to this level, and this is interesting because as this comes down, the point of control is right here, as well as the trend signal line is just above the support line, as well as a weekly VWAP. So there's quite a bit of bullish support hurdles if this does work its way down here. If we lose this level, I do think we're going to come down here and test 629. And then from there, I mean, let's see if there's something crazy going on here. No. Yeah. If this does work its way down, what's on the 1 hour chart? Okay, let's get some views here. All right, so we have these order blocks directly below us, and they basically really do a good job of not only being an order block, but also the local lows here. But what's interesting is you see this line right here. Ray Meeks in the chat pointed this out to me a while back, and I really like to utilize these. You can utilize these areas that mark out key levels about where high liquidity interest was, AKA when you're having high volume buying candles and then you have stopping volume and the candles reverse, it kind of marks out what that level was. And so that's why you get these square blocks. They're not just random lines on the chart. And you can see that even right here where this price action came down, this price action had a little bit of basically was sitting above this line. So it really does give you identifiable levels to pay attention to. So let's kind of put a line there. And we can see, I'm going to delete the fib. Now, so these would be the levels that I'd be watching. I'm going to move this right on it. There we go. So these are the levels that I'd be watching. If this does continue its stair step down, is one right here, double bottom at about 629. If we lose that, then coming down into this zone here, 598, lower side of 6, and we have the order block right below this. So we have levels identified as to where price can go on Cosmos if this does continue the downswing. Now the question is going to be, is this starting to look? This is expansion to the downside, but then this is starting to look like it's getting a little bit of a curvature. So maybe we do get a little bit of a tapping in the zone, maybe a wick down to this zone, find support, and then work our way back up. But everything is so uncertain right now with all the swings of news back and forth. There's uncertainty, but notice when you get all this uncertainty and you get this continual news stories that are it just feels like every day it's like, what the hell why can we get some good news? That's what happens when you get near market cycle bottoms on a trend. And we have market cycles in the macro. And remember, we have market cycles on the midterm, the daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour. And currently on this current downtrend that we're in, we're kind of it's starting to feel like we're getting that same scenario where everything they talk about is bearish. And it's like, what in the living hell? I want the markets to go up. Well, the markets aren't going to do what you want to do. The markets are only going to do and interact with you in ways that you are prepared for them to interact with you. And practice managing your risk. So regardless of what it does, you can participate in the market without getting eaten alive. But that's all I got for you today. I love you all. I do think we're going to get an impulse to the upside, but I still think that 23.8 sort of zone, I think there's a high likelihood we'll hit it. I love you all. I appreciate you all. I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful day. Sergeant Doofy out. Adios. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in. Hit that like button, suckers. Remember to head to bitlabacademy.com where you can get all your education on crypto and blockchain trading, strategies, patterns, candles, on-chain data. Get involved, baby. See you guys on the inside.